Hello all, Craig Mack here, Liberty Bell Beekeepers. Well, it's been a pretty exhausting day here actually. Um, Home from work again. Was supposed to work but got called off, and I spent the day at home with the bees, and luckily I did because there was a lot of activity going on in here. Last couple days I've been getting my mini splits, my 2-frame mini nukes. I've been seeing some mating flights happening with those, and today was no different. Yesterday I had four mating flights go. They look almost like a swarm. I wanted to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing and reporting on it properly. And I misidentified one. Okay, so here's how it went down. I got these 2-frame splits I made on the 4th. Some of them already had queen cells started. Some of them had them made already. So over the last couple of days I've been seeing hatching, queens emerging. Last week I saw several queens emerge, virgin queens. So the ones that are happening this week, these flights that I'm seeing, are those advanced cells, or cells that were already in place as of last week. So if you're looking at that behavior, they're pouring out of the hive like a swarm would pour out of the hive. But knowing that I only have 2 frames, it was one big frame of everything, eggs through capped brood, bees, nectar, pollen, and an empty frame. Swarming to me didn't make any sense. Didn't seem like it would be a swarm because they're trying to make a queen, not already made one and looking to expand. So I was a bit confused because I'm still new. This is my 2nd year. I did a lot of stuff I didn't see last year. This year I have more time to see it, so I am seeing it, like these mating flights. So I was pretty sure that I was identifying that correctly. The bees are pouring out of the hive, up in the air. Within a half an hour, all those bees are back on the box, stuck to the front. And I caught a couple of the queens on the outside of the box before they had gone in, and then transferred them inside the box, and everything was happy. The bees marched in, so on and so forth. So my feeling was that those were mating flights, and that's what was happening. So today was the same thing. Found another colony doing the exact same behavior as the ones from yesterday, pouring out of the hive. 20 minutes later, they're all back on the box. I didn't spot the queen, but in that process, I'm looking in the air, and there were still a ton of bees going flying around all over the place, and they had kind of localized on this one area on the building next to mine where I can reach. I come up to the roof to find that one colony that I had split earlier a couple of weeks ago was a super strong colony, came through winter like gangbusters, into spring like maniacs. I split them up, took the queen, several frames of honey, put them into another box. That hive swarmed today. As the mating flights were concluding, that box started to swarm. So I came up and it was just pandemonium. If you've ever seen a swarm, it's crazy. But at the same time, I think that there might have been mating flights going on in that box. So there was a lot of activity going on. There was a lot of bees in the air, a lot of bees on the ground right in front of the colony, on the box, everywhere. So I come to find a couple clusters, a big cluster of bees down on that lower roof, and it turns out there were 3 queens in that swarm. Excuse me. I was able to box all 3 with equal amounts of bees from that swarm, because there were a ton of bees. There probably was 10 pounds of bees there. And then the 4th was underneath of the box, under the pallet, and I pulled 2 queens from that. So that was a total of 5 queens today from that one colony that swarmed out. Now, I don't know if all of them are mated or if they're virgin queens, and so far I got them all into boxes. They've all been accepted by whichever bees they were in the box with. So as of right now, everything's calm. All the bees are in new boxes. I'm out of frames. I'm out of deep frames, so I'm using mediums and deep boxes. So I'm going to have a lot of extra comb drawn on the bottom of some of those frames, which doesn't bother me. I like to let them build foundationless frames anyway, but I have a bunch of old medium frames that I just checkerboarded in with drawn comb, and hoping that they draw those out straight and not super wonky, and I don't have a big mess. So it was a big day for me as a newer beekeeper, seeing a lot of things that you maybe don't always see until you end up with 30 colonies. In March I had 19. Today I have 33 mated queens. So in the matter of the month of April, I added 30% to my, or actually I added 50% to my stock. And I still have 15 splits on my bee deck that are ready to go. So all in all, it was a big day, a big increase, real fast. If you're not ready for it, it can overwhelm you. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm pretty prepared. I'm short on frames, which isn't a big deal, and I ordered some more, but that's a big increase. You know, to add 13 or 14 new colonies to your apiary in a month is a pretty big increase as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I'm still new, and there's plenty of guys that run hundreds and hundreds of hives, even thousands, and I'm sure that's nothing to them. But for me, as just a humble second-year beekeeper, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But at the same time, this is what I asked for. This is what I was looking for. And sometimes when you ask for those things and you get them, you can you can feel a bit overwhelmed. But it went well. It was a great experience. I've done swarm trapping. I've collected swarms, and I've done cutouts. So a lot of those things that I've done last year was every bit of what I did today with all of those swarms. Using drawn comb to collect the bees from the group, using the lid to knock the bees down onto to try to find a queen, keeping a box handy and almost empty, maybe one drawn frame like you would set up a trap. Swarms are ready to build. When they leave the colony, they're ready to set up a new one. Let them. You don't want to pack your swarm traps full of drawn comb because you're defeating the purpose. And at the same time, you know, if you believe in brood breaks and helping with mites and all that, you're not giving them the chance to break when you add all that drawn comb in. So let your bees, let the swarms, let them draw out new frames. Let your splits, let them draw out new frames if you can. They don't need all the drawn comb. Get as much new wax as you can. It's probably better for the bees. Now, over time, you know, good comb is good comb, and you know, you can let it go a couple of years, but at the same time, all of the new frames that I added are all empty frames and some foundations. And my honey supers, I split them up. I checkerboarded foundation frames and empty frames because I want comb honey this year, as well as bottled honey. So mission accomplished for all that. Once again, if you get a chance to do this and you're getting into it and you want to get ahead and make all these increases, be prepared. Make sure you have more than enough frames, more than enough boxes, more than enough supers, more than enough queen cages. Luckily, I just built 10 queen cages this past week, gave a few to my buddy Dennis, and I kept a few around today, and I absolutely needed them because I pulled 5 queens out today and I only had 2 queen clips, so I needed those boxes. So be prepared. If you're going to jump in head first with a plan. And so far, so good. So great day of beekeeping for me. This is just a testimonial. That's 10 minutes. If you get me talking, I can talk quite a bit and think out loud pretty well. So that's why my videos always end up being 10, 12, 15 friggin' minutes. That, and sometimes I start drinking before I do the videos, and you know, what happens when you do that. As always, you can check us out on social media and keep up with the bee roof and the bee deck and all things Liberty Bell Beekeepers. Thanks for watching. I hope some of this was helpful. I know it's just you staring at me, but sometimes that's a comforting thing. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your season. Enjoy your family and your friends. Keep yourself safe. Thanks, guys. Later.